Everyone, this is going to be my first time actually addressing the, audience that I'm starting to build. I've gained about 150 followers in the past month, which is, nothing, but for me, that's so much more than I ever anticipated in such a short amount of time. It makes me want to make more videos and also perhaps start talking more about what it is I'm doing, how I approach my recordings, my composition, my playing style, the injuries I've had. If you want to skip straight to the song or the gear discussion, the timestamps will be down in the description below. So you're about to watch me do a playthrough of a tune that I worked on this week. It's going to be pre-recorded material because I already recorded it all, so I'm just going to do a playthrough on top of it. It's only two guitars, it's two H-string guitars. That's it, no more, and obviously the drums and percussion. If you stick around, I'll talk about the methods that I use to do it, and nothing's too fancy, like my footstool is this garbage can that's at my feet. The garbage is actually sitting on the ground right now. Please like, please subscribe, please share, please comment, do all those YouTube things to make the algorithm want to show this content more if you want to see more of this content. And without further ado, here we go. Thanks a lot. Okay, so obviously the most important part of the equation that I used is this Stradberg Bowden 8. It is an H-string guitar with the stock pickup, OEM I believe they're called, OEM humbuckers. And yeah, I love this guitar. I want to do a review on it, like full in-depth review on it, for the reasons I play it, why I chose this particular model and why I chose Stradberg and why I started playing H-string guitar in general. Okay, and then for amplification, I have that Stradberg going through 2 amps at once. That's what the ABY pedal is for. I've got the original OG Boss Katana 2x12, and then I have it split into a TC Electronic BG250. It's one of the lightest bass amplifiers I've ever had. When I lived in Spain, I also own that model. I think it weighs like 15 pounds, or at least it feels like it weighs 15 pounds. You can see on that messy pedal section on the floor there, I've got a Twin City ABY box. I've got the Rev G4, I believe it's called, or G series. I don't know what it's called. It's a high gain distortion pedal. I've got this beauty right there. That's the Warm Audio Jet Phaser. I use it mostly for its distortion that it has in it. If you turn the rate and speed all the way down, it has a very slow, rich modulation and allows for some really thick sonic composition of the material that you're using. Next to it, I have some JHS Series 3 pedals. I'm not really a pedal aficionado. I don't even know how to say the word. And I like those pedals because they're built well and they're very easy to use. And one is a Series 3 delay, the other one is a compressor, and then the Zoom H6, which for these latest recordings I've been doing up in this part of my studio, I've been using that more so than my fancy, $1,300 preamps that I have in the studio downstairs. And that's more so for just practicality, and it's really cold in my city right now still, even though we're in April. And I'm just not ready to be downstairs. So Normally when I track electric guitars, I would have one, if not two microphones up to the speakers of the amplifier, plus I would have a line out and everything would be going to their own dedicated preamps. In this kit scenario, because I'm using the H6, I just opted for, from the radial ABY box, I have channel B going to the bass amplifier, and then I have the speakers muted, and I have a line out going from the bass amplifier to the H6 with an XLR cable. And then with output A on the ABY box, I have it going after the pedals, of course, to the Katana amplifier, and then I have the speaker shut off again, and I have a line out going to the H6. And from there is how I have dedicated access to those signals to further process and mix how I want in my DAW. Now, because I'm working with two 8-string guitar tracks split 2 times, that leaves me with 4 individual audio tracks that I'm able to further manipulate and process in the mix. I took the BG250 signals and I put them straight down the middle, and because it's coming from that bass amplifier, pushes the low end, so the 8-string F sharp and the B and the E, they sound beefier and girthier, and I also put, further processing on them. For example, I have those going to 3 separate bus channels. I have them going to a Sheps channel comp, and I have them going to a sub enhancer, as well as an amp designer that I put together in Logic. I call it Baphomet bass. It's fat, it's girthy, it's low, and it's dirty as fuck. I said it was only going to 3 processors. That's actually not correct. It's going to many, many more. I forgot that I use those signals because they're drier. They don't have any of the pedals on them or any of the reverbs or anything. So I use those signals to actually bus out to the stock reverbs and delays and ring shifters and flangers in Logic themselves. That's how I created some of these ethereal effects. With the Katana signals, I have those doing true stereo, hard left and hard right, separate signals. Both guitar parts are essentially the same, the only difference being that on certain passages, I play either a fifth or a third or an octave difference from its counterpart, to give it a harmony. I have them going to each their own compressors, some EQ, basic stuff like that. And then lastly, we have the drums, and that was all done through actual MIDI programming, with the stock MIDI options available in Logic, and also a hybrid of using some of the software drummers in Logic. And those software drummers, even though they're stock, you can manipulate them pretty well, and you have a lot of attention to detail if you know what you're doing and you go in there and you really want to learn it. Now, if you made it to the end of this video and sat through all of that confusing discussion, I thank you so very much. I enjoyed doing this. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. And, please like, subscribe, comment, ask me some questions, random or specific, and hope you enjoyed the music.